Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
We're Bob and Debbie Nothdurft in Kirksville, Missouri. 2022, a new year. What will it bring? For the secular world, Christmas is over, except for possibly returning or exchanging unwanted gifts, taking down the decorations and tree and packing them away. But for the church year, it's still the Christmas season. In my opinion, I have experienced a deterioration of the meaning of Christmas in our society during my lifetime. Now, Santa Claus was certainly celebrated when I was a child until, unfortunately, I discovered Santa wasn't real when I was about 4 or 5. I remember it pained my dad when I wandered back into the back part of the school shop where Dad was the shop teacher and found a wooden stick horse Dad had made that was just like the one I had asked Santa for. And so Dad confessed that he was Santa. And Santa is still alive and well today. But Santa seems to have taken the place of Jesus. Christmas has become incredibly commercialized. Gift buying is the main event. And I wonder if too many people are vaguely aware of the reason for the season, but are reluctant to let Jesus into their lives because they would need to share that amazing gift of love with others. And maybe they're afraid it would mean being more loving and more kind to the marginalized people of our society and becoming a little less like Ebenezer Scrooge and letting go some of their riches.
Romans 12, verses 9 through 13. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Romans 15, verses 1 and 2. We who are strong ought to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. Each of us should please our neighbors for their good, to build them up. 1 John 3, verses 16 through 18. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters. If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. 1 John 4, verses 7 through 11. Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his one and only Son into the world that we might live through him. This is love, not that we loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another.
In 1982, the Oak Ridge Boys released an album called Christmas. And on that album is a song written by Bruce Birch, Mickey Clark, Steve Clark, and Johnny McRae, titled Christmas Carol. And it has become a favorite of mine because it portrays a person who lives sacrificially and continues to embody the meaning of Christmas all year long. Listen or sing along, if you know it, as Debbie and I sing about Carol Johnson. And by the way, I added another verse I wrote at the end of the original song. Like a fixture down on Main Street, she stood there all year round with a tin cup and a tambourine, singing Christmas songs. Folks thought she was crazy, but they loved to hear her sing. Drop some money in her cup, she'd shake that tambourine. And they called her Christmas Carol. There's not a Christmas song she couldn't sing. I remember Christmas Carol with the snow white hair and a beat up tambourine. She wore that same old ragged coat all the year around, lived all alone in a little shack just outside of town. She'd stand there singing jingle bells in the heat of the summer times. Yes, every day was Christmas in Carol Johnson's mind. But I can still remember that twinkle in her eye, 'cause Carol kept a secret from the people passing by. That secret was a mystery they talked about so long, how each Christmas Eve those gifts showed up outside the children's homes. That was 40 years ago, or 50 I believe, and still the toys keep showing up each year on Christmas Eve. I wonder if we'll ever know just who took up the cost. Is it still Christmas Carol or some other Santa Claus? And they called her Christmas Carol. There's not a Christmas song she couldn't sing. I remember Christmas Carol with her snow white hair and a beat-up tambourine. I guess we have to ask ourselves just what this world could be if each of us would reach down deep and give to those in need. Then the spirit of the giving Christ would reign for all to see, and every day would be Christmas in the hearts of you and me. And they called her Christmas Carol. There's not a Christmas song she couldn't sing. I remember Christmas Carol with her snow white hair and a beat-up tambourine. So maybe we could all be a little more like Carol Johnson and keep Christmas alive all year round, and let the love that came into our hearts, that incredible love that came down at Christmas, flow out to those around us. And have a blessed week.